how to play an 8-bar minor blues in the key of A minor. Today, I'm going to teach it to you in two different ways. First, a very basic approach using just the 1, 4, 5 chords. Then, we're going to get a little bit more spicy with it for an advanced approach that makes use of diminished passing chords and also chord variations on the 5 to guide you back to the 1. Let's get started with our basic approach. Okay, getting started with this basic approach, we're going to need 3 chords. The A minor 7 chord, that's our 1 chord in the key of A minor. Bar in the 5th fret, low E to high E, making the thumb nice and low so the index finger straightens, and then grabbing the 7th fret of the A string. A minor 7. Next in the progression, we have the 4 chord in the key of A minor, which will be D minor 7. Okay, bar in the 5th fret, A string to high E. We've got the 7th fret D and the 6th fret of the B string. D minor 7. And then finally, we have the 5 chord in the key of A minor, which could be E minor 7, just taking that 4 chord up a whole step. But I prefer progressions that use the dominant 7 chord on the 5. Okay, so this is an E7 chord shape. We've got the 7th fret of the A string, 6th fret D, the 7th fret of the G string, and the 5th fret of the B string. Okay, so E7. You put those 3 chords together and we have the 1, 4, 5. A minor 7, D minor 7, and E dominant 7. Now, let's put them together in that 8-bar arrangement. Okay, getting started with this basic approach, today we're going to incorporate a funky rhythm. It's going to look and sound like this, real slow. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, so we started off there with 2 measures of the 1 chord, A minor 7. Following that, we had 2 measures of the 4 chord, D minor 7. Then back to the 1 chord, A minor 7 for 2 measures. And then 2 measures of the 5 chord, E dominant 7. And we incorporated that funky rhythm. Okay, over the 1 chord A minor 7, I'm playing bass up slap, bass up slap E, bass up slap, bass up slap A. The open A string at the end of that measure to guide me into the 4 chord D minor 7 for the same rhythm. Okay, so one more time over A minor 7, make sure that when you're doing those upstrokes, you're grabbing the G string and the B string, and that your thumb is playing the A note on the low E string 5th fret. So, bass up slap, bass up slap E, bass up slap, bass up slap A. Now, the exact same thing on the D minor 7 chord, except the root notes will be reversed. Now we're playing bass up slap, bass up slap A, bass up slap, bass up slap E, and back to the A minor 7 chord for 2 measures, just like before. Alright, now I'm going to the E dominant 7 chord, the exact same thing as the 4 chord D minor 7. Alright, and then you're back to the beginning of the progression with A minor 7. You put all that together and we have, nice and slow, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 D minor. A minor. E7. Sounds great if you can slide in. Let's loop it one more time. Okay, if you can play that, then you're ready to jump into the more advanced version. Okay, very well done everybody. Now we're jumping into learning the advanced version of this chord progression, where we're going to add in those magic chord changes that we often hear from more seasoned players. So the first thing we're going to do is swap out these bar chords for some more kind of jazz-oriented shapes. The A minor 7 can be middle finger 5th fret low E, and then the ring finger can bar across the D string, G string, and the B string of that same fret. Okay, a very common, very easy way of playing A minor 7, and actually every single minor 7 chord in the book. And for the D minor 7, you can feel free to play it with this configuration, which is really good for that bossa nova style of playing. Okay, so here I've got the 5th fret of the A, 3rd fret D, the 5th fret G, and the 6th fret of the B string, giving me the intervals 1, flat 3rd, dominant 7, and the minor 3rd. Again, every single minor 7 chord shape in the book. And between those two chords, we're going to add in this magic chord change, one that I heard for many, many years and always wondered how to execute. It wasn't until I started learning about diminished chord shapes that I learned that you can actually add a passing chord between the 1 and the 4. We're going to use B flat diminished 7. Alright, so I've got the 6th fret of the low E string. Then, with my index finger barred, I've got the 5th fret of the D string. I've got the ring finger on the 6th fret G. And again with that bar, I've got the 5th fret of the B string. The A string is muted, as is the high E string. Okay, so practice going between those three chords. A minor 7, the B flat diminished 7, and D minor 7, which if you like you can play it with this configuration or go back to the simple bar. Okay, and then finally for the 5 chord we're going to use that E7 chord shape we used before, but we're also going to add in a little bit of melody using the sharp 9 chord shape. Alright, frets 7, 6, 7, and 8, and then also the flat 9 version. Alright, now I'm barring the index finger. I've got frets 7, 6, 7, 6. That's E7 flat 9. Okay, so let's practice those chords. We've got A minor 7. We've got B flat diminished 7. That walks you up to the D minor 7 chord. And we have E dominant 7, followed by the E7 sharp 9, and the E7 flat 9. Okay, now let's put those to work in that 8-bar context. First, a demonstration. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break that down. Okay, so that started off the same way as our previous method. We have that A minor 7 chord shape getting us started, playing bass up, slap, slap, E. But then in the next measure, we're gonna have a split measure between the A minor 7 and that B flat diminished 7. We're gonna play bass up, slap, E, strum of the diminished passing chord before slapping again, and then go into the open A string to walk us up to the D minor 7 chord shape. You put those two measures together and it should sound like this. A minor 7, go into A minor 7 and B flat diminished 7. Alright, then the D minor 7 is going to get the exact same rhythm that it had in the previous routine, but remember, we're going to change up our grip. Alright, then we're back to the A minor 7 for 2 measures. You know what to do. And landing on that open A string, that's going to get us to the E7 chord shape. All right, the first measure is going to be played the exact same way as the D minor 7 chord. Bass up, slap, A. And then in the next measure, we're going to play bass up, slap, A. And then quarter note strums, one of the E7 sharp 9. I like to use a brush stroke technique, dragging my thumb down the strings, and then grabbing that last note with my middle finger. The same thing for the E7 flat 9. That gives us 2 measures of the E7 chord shape, but with a little bit more style. Bass up, slap, A. Bass up, slap, A. Strum, and then that gets you back to the beginning of the progression. You put all that together and we have A minor 7, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and strum, D minor 7. A minor 7 to the 5 chord, just like that. Okay, fantastic work everybody. You have that essential stock chord progression down, and also some very useful rhythm tools that you can employ when jamming. Now real quick, I want to invite you all to patreon.com/withlessons. There I have a ton of resources to help you meet your goals, but I'm also going to be posting a lead guitar lesson on how to solo over this progression, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll teach you how to follow the chord progression, including the diminish. Just like that. How to get back to the 1. And how to follow the 5 chord. Using other scales and pentatonic boxes. And also how to mix in some chord forms as well. Alright, so patreon.com/withlessons, a lead guitar lesson coming up. But until then, this is Rob at Swift Lessons in Philadelphia, wishing you a great week of practice and happy picking.